You're in the room. People are talking, laughing, sharing stories, and somehow you feel like you're not really there. Not ignored exactly, not rejected, just unseen. You listen, you respond, you nod at the right moments, but when you leave, it's like nothing you brought into the room stayed behind. And a quiet question follows you home. Why do I feel invisible, even when people like me? This invisibility doesn't show up dramatically. It's subtle. You're often the one others talk to, but rarely the one they check in on. People describe you as easy to be around, low maintenance, calm. Yet, inside, you feel strangely absent from your own life. In conversations, you ask questions more than you answer them. You adapt your tone, your opinions, your reactions. You sense what others expect, and you meet it without thinking. Afterward, you replay the interaction. Did I say anything real? Did I leave any mark at all? Over time, this shapes your identity. You stop expecting to be remembered. You stop offering parts of yourself without being asked. You shrink your emotional footprint. And eventually, you don't even know what it would feel like to be truly seen. Psychologically, this pattern often shows up in people who are highly socially attuned, high empathy, high self-monitoring. Your brain is constantly scanning the room. What do they need from me right now? How do I keep things smooth? And a cost is quiet but heavy. You exist everywhere, but land nowhere. Here's the part most people never hear. This isn't a flaw, it's an adaptation. At some point, being noticeable didn't feel safe. Maybe attention came with pressure. Maybe expressing yourself led to conflict. Maybe you learned that harmony mattered more than honesty. So your nervous system made a trade. Stay connected, but stay small. You learned how to belong without taking up space. That's not weakness, that's intelligence. Your brain optimized for survival in social environments. The problem isn't that the strategy was wrong, it's that you're still using it in places where it no longer protects you. Let's slow this down. Your brain has two jobs in social situations. 1, connection. 2, safety. When safety feels uncertain, connection becomes cautious. In cognitive science, this relates to self-monitoring, how much you adjust yourself based on social feedback. High self-monitoring brains run a background process. Scan, adjust, blend. Think of it like a dimmer switch. Instead of turning your personality on or off, you keep it permanently lowered. Why? Because visibility increases risk. Being seen means being evaluated, misunderstood, rejected. So your brain chooses predictability over presence. Here's a simple mental model. Imagine your personality as light in a room. Instead of shining from a single source, you spread it thin across the walls. The room feels comfortable, but no one can point to the light itself. Neuroscientifically, this involves the default mode network and social threat circuits. When you anticipate judgment, your brain shifts energy toward monitoring rather than expressing. You're present, but internally divided. And here's the paradox. The more you adapt to be accepted, the harder it becomes for others to truly see you. And the question becomes, how do you become visible again without feeling exposed? We'll get there, but not yet. This isn't about being louder or more confident. That would backfire. Instead, we work with the brain, not against it. Here are 4 psychologically grounded shifts. Step 1. Reduce self-monitoring by 10%, not 100%. What to do? In one interaction per day, let yourself respond before adjusting. Not impulsively, just slightly unfiltered. Why it works? Self-monitoring uses cognitive resources. Reducing it even a little frees up mental bandwidth for presence. Your brain learns, expression didn't lead to danger. Real-life example. Someone asks what you think. Instead of framing the acceptable answer, you say the first honest version, even if it's incomplete, and notice what doesn't happen. Step 2. Replace adaptation with anchoring. What to do? Choose one internal anchor in conversations, a value, a feeling, a perspective. Stay connected to it while speaking. Why it works? Anchoring reduces identity diffusion. Your brain needs a stable reference point to express coherently. Real-life example, you decide, in this conversation, I'll stay anchored to curiosity. Even when you adjust socially, you don't abandon that core. This creates a detectable signal. Step 3. Make one small bid for recognition. What to do? Offer one personal detail without explanation. No justification, no softening. Why it works. The brain learns visibility through feedback loops. Small bids test safety without overwhelming the nervous system. Real-life example, instead of, I don't know, it's probably silly, but you say, I actually found that meaningful. And you stop there. Let the silence hold it. Step 4. Notice who responds to the real you. What to do? Track, not emotionally, but cognitively, who leans in when you show up more clearly. Why it works. Your brain updates social maps through evidence. Safety becomes specific, not generalized. Real-life example, you realize some people connect more deeply when you're less polished. Others drift. This information matters. Because visibility isn't about being seen by everyone. It's about being seen by the right nervous systems. And this leads to a deeper shift. Here's the model to remember. Visibility is not volume, it's signal clarity. When you spread yourself thin, you become background noise. When you anchor, you become a frequency. You don't need to add more, you need to compress. Less adaptation, more coherence. The goal isn't to demand attention. It's to allow your internal signal to reach the outside world intact. And when that happens, being seen stops feeling dangerous. It starts feeling grounding. You were never invisible. You were just taught that being fully seen came at a cost. So you learned how to stay present without leaving traces. Now you're learning something new. That being present doesn't require disappearance. And being seen doesn't require performance. Sometimes, being seen starts with a single moment where you don't step back. You stay. And you let yourself register in the room. Not louder, not brighter, just more clear. And that clarity, over time, changes everything.